Rain hammered against the floor-to-ceiling windows as their lips met in the darkness. Maya's back pressed against the cold glass, Kai's hands tangled in her hair, and for one reckless moment, she forgot everything. Forgot the money that brought her here, forgot the danger radiating from this man like heat, forgot that this was supposed to be just business. His kiss tasted like expensive whiskey and poor decisions, and she knew, somewhere in the rational part of her brain that was rapidly shutting down, that this night would destroy her life. She just didn't know how completely. But let's start at the beginning, 3 hours before that kiss. When Maya Harford stood in the rain outside a Seoul convenience store, counting money she didn't have. The November rain was merciless, turning Seoul's streets into rivers of neon reflections. Maya's fingers trembled as she counted the worn bills for the third time. 300,000 won. She needed 5 million by morning. Her adoptive mother's surgery couldn't wait. The doctor had been clear. Without it, she had weeks, maybe days. Maya had come to Korea from Nigeria when she was 6, adopted by a woman who'd shown her more love than her birth parents ever had. Now that woman was dying, and Maya was helpless. Again, always helpless. You look like someone drowning. The voice cut through the rain. Maya looked up to see an elegant woman in her 40s, perfectly dry under a black umbrella, wearing a coat that probably cost more than Maya's yearly rent. I can throw you a rope, if you're brave enough to grab it.
Maya's instinct crime de danger.
But desperation is louder than instincts. What kind of rope? The woman smiled, cold and knowing. One night, 5 million won. A very important man requested someone with your particular profile. My profile? Maya's hand unconsciously touched her face. In Korea, she'd always been different. Her rich dark skin, her Nigerian features, the way people stared, some with curiosity, others with prejudice she'd learned to ignore. He has specific tastes, and you need money. The woman extended a black card embossed with a gold phoenix. Be at this address in 2 hours. Wear something nice. Don't ask questions. And Maya, how did she know her name? Whatever happens tonight, remember you chose this. The woman disappeared into the rain before Maya could respond, leaving only the card and Maya's pounding heart. 2 hours later, Maya stood in front of a door at the end of a red silk corridor, wearing the only decent dress she owned. Her hand shook as she knocked. The door opened from within, and there he was. Kai Young didn't need to announce his power. It radiated from him like radiation. Mid-30s, devastatingly handsome in that sharp, dangerous way that makes smart women stupid. His eyes were black ice, studying her with an intensity that made her want to run. Gomein. Not a request. Never a request with men like him. The room was obscene in its luxury. Windows overlooking Seoul's glittering sprawl, furniture that whispered money, art that screamed it. He poured 2 glasses of whiskey without asking if she wanted one. You're younger than the profile suggested, he said, handing her a glass. And scared. Why did you come? Why does anyone come to a place like this? Maya tried to keep her voice steady. Money. Something flickered in his expression. Almost like, respect? Honest. I appreciate that. He gestured to the leather sofa. Sit. Tell me about yourself. This wasn't what she'd expected. I know what you thought. I'm changing the arrangement. He sat across from her, close enough that she could smell his cologne. Expensive, masculine, intoxicating. Tonight, I want conversation. Nothing else. Can you manage that? And so they talked. For hours. He asked about her childhood in Nigeria, her adoption, what it felt like to be perpetually foreign in the only home she knew. She asked what it felt like to have power and still seem so empty. The whiskey flowed. The walls came down. And Maya found herself actually laughing at something this dangerous man said. Found herself leaning closer. Found herself forgetting this was a transaction. I should go, she said finally, though she didn't want to. Dawn was painting the sky purple. Kai stood, moving closer. Should you? You said just conversation. I did. His hand reached up, fingers grazing her cheek. But I think we've both been lying to ourselves about what this is. When he kissed her, It felt like falling off a cliff, terrifying and exhilarating and inevitable. They moved together in a blur of want and loneliness. Two people who'd been alone for too long, finding temporary shelter in each other's arms. Maya woke to harsh morning light and an empty bed. On the nightstand sat an envelope fat with cash. 5,000,001 exactly, and that black card with the gold phoenix. No note, no number, just money and a symbol. She took the money and ran. 6 weeks later, the pregnancy test showed 2 lines. Then an ultrasound showed 2 heartbeats. Twins. Maya sat in the clinic bathroom hyperventilating. She'd Googled that Phoenix symbol. Phoenix Corporation. Kai Young, director. And beneath the corporate shine, darker rumors. Organized crime connections. Politicians in his pocket. People who crossed him disappearing into Seoul's shadows. She made her choice that day. Withdrew everyone from her account. Disappeared in the middle of the night. Moved to a small city 2 hours south. She worked 3 jobs while pregnant. Delivered Lily and Rose in a hospital where no one asked questions. And spent 5 years building a life in hiding. It was exhausting. Lonely. But her daughters were safe, loved, normal. Until the email arrived. Executive assistant position at Apex Global Trading, Seoul. The salary would change their lives. Benefits included housing, schooling for the girls. Felt like a miracle. Maya should have known miracles don't exist. Only delayed consequences. Her first day felt promising. The building was impressive. Her colleague Sophie was warm. Everything seemed perfect. The director is intense but fair, Sophie said, leading her to the top floor. Keeps to himself mostly. The assistant opened the director's door. Sir, the new executive assistant is here. Send her in. Maya's blood turned to ice at that voice. She stepped through the door, and time stopped. Kai Young stood by the window, silhouetted against Seoul's skyline exactly like 5 years ago. When he turned, his expression shifted from surprise to something harder, colder. Ms. Harford. Her name in his mouth sounded like an accusation. I've been expecting you. The assistant left, closing the door. The silence was suffocating. Quite the coincidence, Kai continued, moving toward his desk with predatory grace. My new assistant happens to be someone I knew intimately years ago. I didn't know. I can resign. You'll do no such thing. Steel wrapped in silk. Sit down, Maya. We need to discuss your employment terms. Her legs couldn't hold her anymore. She sat. Kai opened a folder, slid it across the desk. Inside were photos of her, of Lily and Rose at kindergarten, at the park, sleeping in their beds. You've been watching us. Horror bloomed cold in her chest. Protecting them. His voice was dangerously soft. From the moment my security confirmed their existence 3 months ago. Did you really think you could work at a company I own without triggering background checks? They're not. Don't. The word cracked like a whip. Don't insult both of us. Twin daughters. 4 years old. Born exactly 9 months after our night. They have my eyes, Maya. My mother's smile. I had DNA testing done. You had no right. I had every right. For the first time, his control fractured. You disappeared. 5 years.
No trace. No explanation.
You kept my children from me. Do you have any idea? He stopped, visibly reining himself back. We'll discuss this properly. Tonight, 8 p.m. My penthouse. And if I refuse? Kai leaned forward, and she saw the monster beneath the businessman. Then I'll visit your apartment. In front of your daughters. Let them meet their father while you explain why strange men are at your door. Your choice, Maya. The rest of the day passed in a nightmare. At 6, she picked up Lily and Rose, held them tighter than usual, fought tears as they chattered about their day. At home, Sophie arrived, sensing catastrophe. What happened? Maya broke, told her everything. The night 5 years ago, the pregnancy, the running, Kai's return. We leave, Sophie said immediately. Tonight. My family in Busan. He found me once. He'll find me again. Maya showed her the text that had arrived an hour ago. I have eyes on your building. Every exit. Don't run again. Then the police. And tell them what? That a billionaire wants to meet his own children? They'll laugh, Sophie. He hasn't done anything illegal. He's just claiming what's his. At 7:45, Maya kissed her sleeping daughters and got into the black car waiting outside. Kai's penthouse was a monument to power, occupying an entire floor, dominated by windows overlooking the city he commanded. He stood by the glass, whiskey in hand. Thank you for coming. Did I have a choice? There's always a choice. You've made many. I'm ensuring you don't make more without consulting me. He gestured to the sofa. Sit. Maya remained standing. What do you want? I want to understand why you ran. Why you stole 5 years from me. Because I was terrified. The words exploded out. You think I didn't know who you are? What you do. Men like you don't have families. You have assets, leverage, things you control. I wouldn't let my daughters become that. So you decided for me. Decided I couldn't be trusted. His voice was acid. Tell me, Maya, was barely surviving better than letting them have a father who could give them everything? Everything except safety. You think you gave them safety? He pulled out a tablet, pulled up photos. Recognize these vehicles? These men watching your daughter's kindergarten. Maya's heart stopped. In the photos, men in dark cars, telephoto lenses pointed at Lily and Rose playing on swings. What are you talking about? The moment my people confirmed the twins existed, information leaked. My enemies don't care about innocence. They see 2 little girls as leverage against me. He zoomed in on faces. Young family associates. My competitors. They've been surveilling your daughters for 2 weeks. Oh God. Maya felt sick. I've had security preventing anything from happening. But Maya, this is reality now. By bringing you into my orbit publicly, I've painted targets on them. You can't hide anymore. The only way forward is my protection. Then let us go. Fire me. Say it was a mistake. Too late. The Jung family knows. Others will know soon. You can't disappear again. The only option is protection. My protection. He pulled out a contract. Security arrangement. You and the girls move into my secured residence. 24-hour protection. Private school with armed guards. You continue working legitimately. In exchange, I provide everything they need. I become your prisoner. You become protected. There's a difference. His mask cracked slightly. And I get to know my daughters. Be more than my father was to me. What happened to your father? Killed when I was 5. My mother raised me alone in poverty until she died when I was 15. Everything I built from nothing. I swore if I ever had children, they'd have better. His voice roughened. You took 5 years from me. 5 years I can never get back. I was protecting them from your world. And now your protection isn't enough. Mine is. Maya looked at the contract. If I refuse, then the Jung family eventually makes their move. Maybe they kidnap one for ransom. Maybe they hurt them to hurt me. This arrangement makes them officially mine. Officially untouchable. You're saying choose prison with you or danger without you. I'm saying choose life for them. What if they hate you? For the first time, Kai looked uncertain. Then I live with that. But they'll be alive to make that choice. Maya closed her eyes, thinking of Lily's laugh, Rose's stubbornness. 5 years of running, of looking over her shoulder, of denying them stability. I need guarantees. They come first. Always. Agreed. You don't control me. Don't own me. This is about them. Agreed. And if I find out you've lied, if this is manipulation, I will destroy you. I don't care how powerful you are. Kai almost smiled. There's the fire I remember. Agreed. Maya picked up the pen. Her hand shook. When do we move? Tomorrow. Security starts tonight. They'll have questions. We answer them. Together. Honestly. He paused. I know you don't trust me, but I swear I'll protect them with my life. The pen touched paper. Maya signed her name. Across the city, Lily stirred in her sleep, reaching for Rose. Neither knew their world was about to change. that the monster from their mother's past was about to become their future. Kai watched Maya sign the last page. One more thing. My world has rules, codes, lines I don't cross, but others do. The Jung family is just the beginning. This will get worse before it gets better. Then why drag us into it? I didn't drag you anywhere. You walked back into Seoul, into my company, into my life. Maybe fate, maybe coincidence. But the clock started ticking the moment you did. Maya stood. I should get back to my daughters. My driver will take you. From now you use my cars. All drivers vetted, loyal. All watching me. All keeping you alive. At the door Maya turned. Do you really want to know them? Or just own something precious? Kai met her eyes. Ask me in 6 months. The elevator doors closed on Maya's pale face. She returned home to find Sophie waiting. Did you sign? I didn't have a choice. There's always a choice. Not when the alternative is your children getting hurt. Maya sank onto the couch between her sleeping daughters. We move tomorrow. Her phone buzzed. Kui. Security positioned outside. They stay tonight. Tomorrow at 10 movers arrive. I'll meet you at the residence at noon. Another message. Thank you for this chance. I won't waste it. Maya stared at those words. Was this really about fatherhood? Or control? She wouldn't know until too late. But holding her daughters, she made a promise. She'd watch Kai like a hawk. Document everything. The moment he proved to be threat rather than protection, she'd find a way out. Even if it meant burning his empire down. Outside, in a sedan 3 buildings down, a man raised a camera. Snapped photos of Maya's window. Sent them to a Jung family number. Message. Confirmed. The girls are his. Proceed to phase 2. The next morning arrived too fast. By 9, Maya had packed their few possessions. By 10, professional movers descended. By 11, they were driving through Seoul to an address in Gangnam that made Maya's stomach drop. The building was obscene, glass and steel luxury, private security, the kind of place where monthly fees exceeded yearly salaries. The apartment Kai had arranged occupied the entire 15th floor. When Maya opened the door, Lily and Rose gasped. The space was enormous. Floor-to-ceiling windows, designer furniture, toys already arranged in a bedroom that looked like a princess palace. It was everything Maya could never give them. Mama, is this really ours? Rose whispered, eyes huge. For now, baby. For now. At noon exactly, the doorbell rang. Maya's heart hammered. She opened the door to find Kai standing there, looking almost nervous, holding an expensive shopping bag. May I come in? Maya stepped aside. Kai entered, eyes immediately searching until they found what he was looking for. Lily and Rose stood in the living room, holding hands, staring at the tall stranger with his face. Their eyes, his jawline, an undeniable genetic echo. For a long moment, nobody moved. Then Kai slowly knelt down, bringing himself to their level. Hello, he said softly. My name is Kai. I'm your father. Rose's little hand tightened on Lily's. Mama said our daddy was far away. I was. But I'm here now. If that's okay with you. Lily, always braver, took a tiny step forward. Did you bring us presents? Kai's careful control cracked into a genuine smile. I did. Would you like to see? And just like that, the ice broke. Within an hour, Kai sat on the floor with his daughters, watching them play with expensive dolls, looking more human than Maya had ever seen him. He caught her eye across the room, and something passed between them. Understanding, maybe, or the beginning of it. But Maya's phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. How sweet. Kai playing daddy. Enjoy it while it lasts. Attached was a photo taken from outside the building. Of them. Today. Meaning someone was watching. Right now. Maya looked up to find Kai already on his feet, having received the same message. His face had gone cold, dangerous. Get away from the windows, he said quietly. Now. And Maya realized with crystal clarity that this wasn't over. It was just beginning. 3 days later, Maya was settling into a terrifying new normal. The girls loved their new school, loved the fancy apartment, Loved spending evenings with Kai, who turned out to be surprisingly patient with 4-year-olds. But the security was suffocating. Guards everywhere, cars following them, restrictions on movement, and the messages kept coming. Such beautiful girls. Would be a shame if something happened. Kai can't protect them forever. We're closer than you think. Kai's response was to increase security, which made Maya feel more trapped. They argued about it in his office after hours. They can't live in a prison. Better a prison than a grave. His control finally shattered. You don't understand what these people are capable of. The Jung family doesn't make idle threats. Then end this. Whatever war you're fighting. I can't just end it, Maya. That's not how this works. The moment you showed weakness in this world, you're dead. The only way forward is through. Then let us go. We'll disappear again. They'll find you in 24 hours. You think I'm the only one with resources? He grabbed her shoulders, forcing her to look at him. I know you hate this. Hate me. But right now, I'm the only thing standing between them and our daughters. So yes, you're trapped. Yes, you're under surveillance. Because the alternative is them being taken. And Maya, if the Jung family takes them, we'll get them back in pieces. The brutal honesty made her flinch. This is my fault. I came back to Seoul.
No.
His voice softened unexpectedly. This is my fault. My world. My enemies. You're just caught in the crossfire. For the first time, Maya saw the weight he carried. The loneliness. The burden of power that came with a price too high. What happens now? Now we wait. The Jung family will make a move. And when they do, I'll end this. How? His smile was cold and terrible. You don't want to know. That night, Maya couldn't sleep. She stood at the window of her new bedroom, watching Seoul's lights, when she heard a sound. Turning, she found Kai in her doorway. Can't sleep either? He asked. How can I? My daughters are being hunted because of choices I made. He came to stand beside her. You made the only choice you could with the information you had. I don't blame you for running, Maya. I understand it. If someone had told me 5 years ago I'd have children, I would have run too. This life, it's not meant for families. Then why are you fighting so hard to keep us? He was quiet for a long moment. Because when I saw those photos of Lily and Rose, something in me that had been dead for 20 years woke up. I looked at them and thought, that's mine. That's my chance to be better than my father. To give them what I never had. Safety, stability, love. He turned to her. I know you don't trust me, but I need you to believe that I will die before I let anything happen to them. Maya searched his face. You really mean that? With everything I am. Something shifted between them in that moment. Not trust. Not yet. But the beginning of something. Then Kai's phone rang, shattering the moment. He answered, listened, and his face went cold. When? How many? Location. He hung up, already moving. Get the girls. Now. Jung family just moved on my downtown operation. This is distraction. They're coming here. Maya's blood turned to ice. She ran to the girls' room, scooped up sleeping Lily and Rose. Kai was already on the phone, barking orders. Within 60 seconds, the apartment was swarming with security. Service elevator, Kai directed. Armored car in the garage. Move. They made it to the garage when the lights went out. Emergency power kicked in, bathing everything in red. Kai pushed Maya and the girls toward the car, gun appearing in his hand from nowhere. Get in. Lock the doors. If anything happens to me, the driver knows where to go. Kai. Get in the fucking car, Maya. She did, pulling the still sleeping girls close. Through the bulletproof glass, she watched Kai and his security team form a perimeter. Then the elevator dinged. If you're on the edge of your seat right now, hit that subscribe button because this story is about to get even more intense. Drop a comment telling us what you think Kai should do, and smash that like button so we can bring you part 2. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. The elevator doors opened. 4 men emerged, guns drawn. Kai's security met them with overwhelming force. The garage erupted in gunfire. Maya screamed, covering her daughter's ears as they woke, crying. She couldn't see Kai anymore, just muzzle flashes and shadows. Then silence. Terrible, ringing silence. The car door opened. Maya nearly screamed until she saw Kai, blood on his white shirt, but alive. It's over. They're down. Are you hurt? The girls. We're fine. You're bleeding. Not my blood. He climbed in beside her, suddenly gentle as he touched Lily's tear-stained face. It's okay, sweetheart. You're safe. I promise you're safe. I want to go home, Lily sobbed. Our old home, where it was quiet. Kai's face showed devastation. I know, baby. I know. I'm so sorry. Maya saw it then, the man behind the monster. The father terrified he'd already failed his children. And despite everything, despite the violence and danger and impossibility of their situation, she reached for his hand. We're alive, she said. That's what matters. His fingers tightened on hers. This isn't over. The Jung family. I know, but we face it together. All of us. As a family. Something cracked in Kai's carefully controlled face. Family. God, Maya. I don't even know what that means. Neither do I. But I think we're about to figure it out. As the armored car drove them to a safe house, Maya held her daughters and looked at the dangerous, complicated, broken man beside her. She still didn't trust him completely, still didn't know if this would end in tragedy or salvation. But she knew one thing with absolute certainty. Kai Young would burn the world down to protect their girls. And maybe, just maybe, she would too. The war was far from over. But for the first time since signing that contract, Maya felt like they might actually survive it. And as Seoul's lights faded behind them, Kai's phone buzzed one final time. A message from an unknown number. Round one to you, Kai. But this game is far from finished. We'll take what's yours eventually. It's just a matter of time. Kai showed Maya the message. She read it, then met his eyes. What now? His smile was cold and deadly. Now I stop playing defense. Now I remind the Jung family why crossing me is a death sentence. What are you going to do? Whatever it takes. And Maya knew then that the monster she'd run from 5 years ago had fully awakened. The question was, would he save them or destroy them all in the process? The answer would come sooner than any of them expected. Because in a black sedan across the city, the head of the Jung family smiled at the photos on his phone. Kai's daughters, crying in that garage. Fear was good. Fear made people sloppy. And sloppy people made mistakes. Patience, he told his associates. Let Kai think he's won. Let him feel safe. Then we take everything from him. His business, his reputation, his precious daughters. Everything. The pieces were moving. The game was accelerating. And in the middle of it all were 2 4-year-old girls who just wanted their mother to stop crying and their father to stop looking so scared. Maya held Lily and Rose as they finally fell asleep in the safe house, surrounded by guards, trapped in a nightmare she'd walked into 5 years ago with a desperate decision in the rain. She looked at Kai across the room, and he looked back. This story was always going to end in blood. The only question was whose?